Hey, what are we talking about on this week's episode? Woo, we're going to break out the wok and we're going to walk and roll because we're going to make an authentic Japanese beef stir fry right here at the wagon on Old Bertha with a giant wok. You don't want to miss this, and come on, I am getting it hot. Hey, thank y'all for stopping by the wagon on a chilly afternoon. It is, but guess what? The Cowboy's going to the Far East again today. Yes, he is. What we're talking about, an authentic Japanese beef stir fry done right here at the wagon. Oh my gosh, I do be loving them flavors. But guess what? I have some really big news. This video is sponsored by our good friends at Bright Cellars Wine. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. You folks have seen me cook with a lot of wine, and hey, wine is good for you. My heart doctor told me I should have a glass a day, she said. But due to the good nature of those folks at Bright Cellar and Pony Express whipping and spurting and riding real fast, guess what happened? They brought it right into camp, it is. You ain't got to go to the liquor store. You ain't got to go to the grocery store. These folks are going to send it right to you, and guess what? They're going to give you 50% off a box full of this. Now, I love me some wine, I really do, and I love to cook with it because wine brings up a unique flavor that just blends so well with so many different things, whether it be beef or seafood. But I be wandering around there in the grocery store looking, does this one go with the steak? Does that one go with a hot dog? I really don't know what I should be.
A hot dog?
Yes, you never know. I don't know what to pick. So the good folks at Bright Cellar, they're going to send you this quiz, and you're going to take it, and it's going to help it pair up to a box of wine that you need to your flavors and your taste. Well, I done took that quiz and I think I made 100, so let's see how these folks at Bright Cellar have cowboyed this deal up. They'll be looking pretty good, they do, but the thing I like about it is they be give you a player's card. You remember when you used to buy that bubble gum and you got one of them baseball cards in it? Well, this is even better than that because they give you a card for each wine telling you where it's from, when to serve it, how long to chill it, and what it even pairs with. So that's a lot of help for me because, folks, I just be grabbing something at the store sometime. It might not go with it. So I'm going to pick me out one of these to go with this beef stir fry, and I'm getting hungry, so let's get after it. And look here, folks, what are we talking about? Some beef. Now, I'm talking about a piece of what, Shan? What's it called?
Flank.
Flank steak. Now, you'll see this is pretty lean as you look at it there. And I want you to be trimming it if there's a whole lot of fat on here of either side. But this is pretty clean indeed, it is. You can see the grain in this meat as it runs across here so much. And there's so many different ways that you can use this piece of meat for anything, but it makes great stir fry. And to make this the most tender that we can, we're just going to slice it in half first, just run across here. And all of you be wondering, where you get that tool at, Cowboy Kent? Well, folks, this is my good friend Tom Willoughby that makes these, and they are so good, they are so sharp. So we're going to cut this, and this is about 1 pound and 4 ounces. Now I want to start at the thickest end of this, and I want you to take your knife, and I just want you to cut across here and cut it, I think they call that sushi style. And then we're just going to cut it one more time like that. It'll go over in the bowl. But just remember to cut it at an angle. And then we'll cut it again. Well, folks, we got her cut up, and it is time to put in the rest of the goodness here. So we're going to add us some soy sauce, which is pretty close to probably a little, around 1/4 of a cup. Yes, it is. A little bit of olive oil, which is that much. This is what's going to fool you. Yes, an egg. You've seen that stir fry when it comes out of there and it's really done right. It's got sort of a glistening little style to it. That egg gives it that so much. Now to help it to cling to all this stuff, we need to give it a little cornstarch. And then guess what? We're just going to mix it all up. The acid that's in the soy is going to help break this down a little and get it tender. And you can see how that egg is already giving it a shine or a sheen. So, whew, folks, I am looking forward to this. And when you get it to this point, guess what? We're just going to season it with some just regular old coarse ground black pepper. Now, when you got that beef all seasoned up, and folks, just let it sit over there because we're just going to let it sit and rest and marinate in them juices till we get everything cut up. It might take you 15 minutes, might take you 10, might take you 5, but just let it sit over there. Bell pepper, red and yellow, broccoli, carrot, some garlic cloves, We're going to go back in there with some fresh ginger after a while. But folks, you want to make sure, because we're not cutting these in big old thick pieces. Sure, we're going to julienne them peppers to where they're sliced pretty thin, but we're going to make these carrots to where they're pretty thin themselves, like and so. Then I want you to come back with just one head of broccoli and just cut him off there at the stems and just take it right down through the middle and just cut him right in half, lay him over there. Well, let's get them peppers sliced pretty thin, because folks, we need to have a sort of an even cook time on some of this. So try to keep them all pretty uniform when you're cutting them, and don't cut doused finger. This is an old tandem disc that is great big. My good friend down there in Louisiana, Tony Osborne, gave it to me. It's been cleaned out really well. Y'all might have seen me make a garden stir fry, and it's the same thing back in the summer. But folks, these things are so great to cook with. And if you can't find these, hey, you can find a wok somewhere. Now while we're letting that right there, we're gonna go ahead and put these broccoli and these carrots in some water where they can boil and get tender. And people be saying, hey, I thought we was gonna stir fry with them. We are, folks. But when we put them in here and stir fry, when we mix them all in and you just keep mixing and mixing and mixing, they disintegrate and lost all their shape, and they be telling you, hey, this ain't what I was after. So in go them. Ooh, I love to hear that sound. And then the meat's going right on top. So just go and just keep stirring around, folks. We want to get that good and browned up well. Folks, when you get to this point to where you got some good browning going on and them peppers have got what we call al dente, hope you got you something warm to put them in, because I do. It's called a Dutch oven right here handy. But just get them scooped out of there and set them aside. Got our vegetables over here boiling they are.
Our vegetables?
Yeah, vegetables. You know, that's them things that look like vegetables, but when they're boiled, they become vegetables. When you get all them out of there, I need you now, if you got one of them wire baskets, that is fine. Me, I don't have one. So we're gonna go right back in here and we're gonna get the steam off these veggies, and then we're gonna put them right back over here with this meat. But I want them to get some of that flavor that meat has there, and them carrots need to cook just a little longer too. And that water that's in there, folks, I guarantee you, it'll evaporate pretty quick. And we're just gonna cook them till we see a little glistening effect and a little bit of browning on them carrots. You can see that broccoli is starting to wilt a little, so we are pretty close, we are. Well, it is time to let it come over here and join the beef. It is. Now we're gonna marry this all back together here in a minute, but folks, we still got some secret ingredients that has to go in it. Folks, I have took me some ginger and sliced it really thin, probably about 6 or 8 slices, 4 garlic cloves minced really well. I need you to put just a tad bit of olive oil back in the bottom of this right here. And then I need you to put some soy in there. And I need you to put some oysters. In go these. We just want to get some of that flavor infused on them. Now we're headed back over here. Get everybody to go into where you can get some of that ginger and that garlic and that oyster sauce back up here on top of it. Well, folks, it is time to marry the wine with the stir fry. And this is a red blend that I picked and had him lined up there #1, because when I tasted it, it was so smooth, but it had sort of an earthy flavor that brings out there. And when you get all that combined in there with that beef and that good stir fry, but also the soy sauce, the garlic and everything, is going to blend so well with this. So without further ado, thank you, Bright Cellar. And we're just going to cook this down just a little, folks. It don't take long. Folks, I'm talking about, I may not ever cook no fancy dining in my life, but that there's getting pretty fancy for the Cowboy. And when that wine hit in there and all them flavors blended together, the aroma that was coming out of there, hey, it'll bring the neighbors out from 40 miles away. But whew, had some really good help. They kept the armadillos out of camp today. Dooker, come here, buddy. And the Big. There you go. Thank you, Big. And look who showed up. It's the Major. There you go, Mage. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate it so much. And now it is time for me to try it out. Give me some room, puppies. Give me some room. I don't know about. I want to go here. I'm going to the east and I'm going to the west. And we're going to give it up and we're going to go back. Whew. This is what I'm talking about, folks. I'm going to give you one of these again today. Namaste. I'm gonna go back over here to the plate and have me some more of this. There's so many unique flavors that jump out of there. The ginger, the soy, the oyster sauce. But what tied it all together to me was the wine. Folks, it just don't get no better than that. Now, I cooked with one, and then I poured me a glass of Merlot. So, folks, as always, but this is a little different. I'm going to raise my glass and tip my hat to all our servicemen and women and all the veterans who have kept this old country safe and that flag flying above camp wherever me and Shan's at. And Bright Cellar, thank you so much, folks. We consider you part of the family. And guess what? God bless you each and every one, and I'll see you down the wine stir-fry trail. Ooh, it's going to be good. God bless you. The lights, blip, blip, blip. Okay. Let's walk and roll. Shan told me slow down, don't talk so fast. What?